In lecture series on Introduction to Radar Systems, we are now going to discuss the ambiguity diagram along with pulse compression technique. The nature of masked filter output as a function of both time and Doppler frequency is important for understanding the properties of a radar waveform. In particular, its effect and measurement accuracy, target resolution, ambiguities in range and radial velocity, and the response to flutter. When the received echo signal is large compared to noise, the output of the masked filter may be written as the cross correlation function given by this integration minus infinity to plus infinity SRT S star T minus TR dash DF, where this SRT is the received echo signal, ST is the transmitted signal, S star is the complex conjugate, and TR dash is the estimate of the time delay. The transmitted signal can be written as St equal to ut exponential j2 pi f0t, where this ut is the complex modulation function whose magnitude ut is the envelope of the real signal and f0 is the carrier frequency. The received echo signal SRT is assumed to be the same as that transmitted, except for a Doppler frequency shift fd and a delay equal to the true time delay t0. So SRT equal to ut minus t0 exponential j2 pi f0 plus fd t minus t0. We are considering only the plus sign for the sake of simplicity. It may be plus minus, it should be written as plus minus for receding target, but we are considering only the for the sake of simplicity we have assumed it is a plus sign. With this definition, the output of the masked filter can be written as, using the previous integration of minus infinity to plus infinity, ut minus t0 u star t minus tr dash exponential j2 pi f0 plus fd t minus t0 exponential minus j2 pi f0 t minus tr dash dt. Now, for simplicity in understanding equation, let us take the origin to be the true time delay and the transmitted frequency. So we are actually changing the origin of this equation, nothing else. So in this case, t0 we take it as 0 and f0 is taken as 0. So t0 minus tr dash becomes tr dash, which is equal to tr. So output of the masked filter, which is a function of, so chi as a function of tr and fd, that can be written as, from this equation, putting this t0 equal to 0 and f0 equal to 0, takes the simple form of ut u star t plus tr exponential j2 pi fdt dt. So this is the output of the masked filter. A positive time delay tr indicates a target beyond the true target time delay t0, and a position Doppler frequency f0 indicates an approaching target. The squared magnitude of this equation, that is chi tr fd whole square mod whole square, is called the ambiguity function. Its three-dimensional plot as a function of time delay tr and Doppler frequency fd is the ambiguity diagram. So this is what we call the ambiguity diagram. Now we will consider the properties of ambiguity diagram. Maximum value of this ambiguity diagram is twice E. So at 0 point, means tr equal to 0, fd equal to 0, magnitude chi 0 0 equal to twice E. It is a symmetric, so symmetry relation is chi minus tr minus fd equal to chi tr fd. Now behavior on tr axis, because ambiguity diagram has got two axes, one is tr, another is the fd. So behavior on tr axis, chi tr 0, putting fd equal to 0, it becomes ut minus tr dt. Now behavior on fd axis, putting tr equal to 0, so chi 0 fd, that is equal to integration u square t exponential j 2 pi fdt dt. Its magnitude actually. Volume under the surface of ambiguity diagram, it is chi tr fd whole square mod square dtr dfd, that must be equal to twice e whole square. So let us try to understand the meaning of these properties. The maximum value of ambiguity function occurs at the origin, which is the true location of the target when the Doppler shift is fd equal to 0. Its maximum value is 2e whole square, where e is the energy contained in the echo signal. Property 2 is the symmetry relation that we have already said. Property 3 is the form of the ambiguity function on the time delay axis. It is the square of the autocorrelation function ut. The fourth property describes the behavior on the frequency axis and is the square of the inverse Fourier transform of ut mod square. The total volume under the ambiguity function and ambiguity diagram is given by the fifth property, which is a constant equal to 2e whole square. Now we will try to understand the utility of ambiguity diagram. What are the different information that we get from the ambiguity diagram? For that first let us try to understand the ideal ambiguity diagram. What should be the shape of ideal ambiguity diagram? So the ideal ambiguity diagram should consist of a single peak of infinitesimal thickness at the origin and be zero everywhere else. So that should be the ideal case. So it is an impulse function at origin and its width is absolutely 0. So this should be the ambiguity diagram. Ideally, apparently it should be the ideal ambiguity diagram. It would be an impulse function and have no ambiguities in the range or Doppler frequency. The infinitesimal thickness at the origin would permit the time delay and or frequency to be measured simultaneously to as high a degree of accuracy as desired. It would also permit the resolution of two very closely spaced targets and rejects all clutter other than clutter at the origin. Such a highly desirable ambiguity diagram is not theoretically allowed, as the maximum of the ambiguity diagram be equal to 2e whole square and the volume under its surface must also be equal to 2e whole square. So that is not possible for this case. So this should not be the ideal ambiguity diagram. So an approximate to what might seem to be a good ambiguity diagram is given here. The waveform does not result in ambiguities since there is but a single peak. So there should not be any ambiguity, and the peak is occurring at zero origin or at the origin 0 point. So there is no ambiguity as per detection is concerned. In general, when a single peak is obtained, it might be so wide along the time delay axis and the Doppler frequency axis is that it might have poor accuracy and resolution. Practical waveforms do not approximate the ideal ambiguity diagram or even its more realistic version. So this is actually what it should be, because ideal ambiguity diagram, which was actually a single peak at origin, can never happen. Actually, it is not possible practically or theoretically. So this thing may happen, but even practical scenario is not allowing us to have this type of ambiguity diagram. So information that we can get from ambiguity diagram, that is very important. Information found from an ambiguity diagram can usually be obtained from simpler two-dimensional plots. So in itself of three-dimensional plot, what we do, we try to divide this three-dimensional plot into two-dimensional plot in TRFD axis actually, or TRFD plane. So large ambiguity function chi TRFD whole square is indicated by this dark shade. So here dark shade means it may be represented by red color for color picture, but this is a black and white picture. So this dark shade is the region where the ambiguity function is very large. Comparatively smaller ambiguity function is represented by this shaded portions, and zero response region is indicated by no shading, these regions outside of these shades. Same thing happens here. Here also, this is for short pulse, this is for long pulse. That means width of the pulse is long, here the width of the pulse is short, but thing is the same. Here also this darkest shade means where the ambiguity function is high, this shade, light shade, where the ambiguity function is comparatively lower, and beyond this there is a region where the response is 0. The plot for a single pulse shows most of the response as a completely shaded elliptically shaped region in which chi-square mod is large. No response occurs outside the time plus minus tau. The time delay measurement error is proportional to tau, and the frequency measurement error is proportional to 1 by tau. So this is 1 tau and this is 1 by tau. The plot of long pulse shows the good frequency measurement occurring and poor time delay accuracy. Poor time delay accuracy and good frequency measurement. For a diagram of short pulse, it is seen that the range accuracy of a simple pulse waveform is improved this much, but the frequency accuracy worsened. So for long pulse and short pulse, the situation is just opposite. The ambiguity diagram of single pulse is known as a ridge or knife edge. Now we will consider the pulse compression. Why do we need pulse compression? High resolution in range may be obtained with short pulses, but short pulse consists of high spectral width and very high peak power. On the other hand, long pulses have smaller spectral width and comparatively smaller peak power with low range resolution. So a long pulse can have the same spectral bandwidth as a short pulse if the long pulse is modulated in frequency or phase, because once we modulate it in frequency, that is FM or PM phase modulation, the bandwidth increases. The modulated long pulse with its increased bandwidth B is compressed by the matched filter of the receiver to a width equal to 1 by B. So this process is called the pulse compression. It can be described as the use of a long pulse of width capital T to obtain the resolution of a short pulse by modulation the long pulse to achieve a bandwidth B which is greater than 1 by T, and processing the modulated long pulse in a matched filter to obtain a pulse width tau nearly equal to 1 by B. Pulse compression allows a radar to simultaneously achieve the energy of a long pulse and the resolution of a short pulse without the high peak power required of a high energy short duration pulse. It is used in high power radar applications like synthetic aperture radar that are limited by voltage breakdown if a short pulse were to use. The pulse compression ratio is defined as the ratio of the long pulse width T, capital T, to the compressed pulse width tau, that means T by tau. This is how we define the pulse compression ratio. Now since the bandwidth B is nearly equal to 1 by tau, of the order of 1 by tau, so pulse compression can also be written as B into T, because 1 by tau equal to B, so T into B is the pulse compression ratio. The pulse compression ratio ranges from 10 to 10 to the power 5 with typical value from 100 to 300. The modulation applied to a long pulse can be considered as providing distinctive marks in either the frequency or the phase along the various portion of the pulse. For instance, the changing frequency of a linearly frequency modulated pulse is distributed along the pulse so that each small segment of the pulse corresponds to a different frequency. By passing the modulated pulse through a dispersive delay line whose delay time is a function of frequency, each part of the pulse experiences a different delay, so that it is possible for the trailing edge of the pulse to be speeded up in dispersive delay line and the leading edge slowed down, so that they come together to effect a compression of the long pulse. Two general classes of pulse compression is linear FM or chirp, and another is the binary phase coded pulse. Linear frequency modulation pulse compression technique. So this is the block diagram of such pulse compression transmitter and receiver. So the two new blocks are there actually. One block is in the transmitter side. So along with transmitter we have a frequency modulator to FM or PM modulate the frequency signal, transmitter signal. It is frequency modulated by this frequency modulator, and we need, this part is almost equivalent to the previously discussed super heterodyne receiver, but after IF amplifier we have a special filter called pulse compression filter. So these two things are new in the case of linear frequency modulation pulse compression technique. So let us try to understand the FM pulse compression. The FM waveform is generated at low power and amplified by a power amplifier. The transmitted waveform consists of a rectangular pulse of constant amplitude A and duration T. The frequency increases linearly from F1 to F2. So this relationship is linear. Frequency increases linearly over the duration of the pulse. So from T1 to T2, the frequency is changing from F1 to F2 in a linear fashion. So this is known as upchart because frequency is increasing. Alternatively, the frequency could just as well decrease with time and it is then called down chart. So corresponding time waveform can be represented in this figure. So near T1 the frequency is lower, very close to F1, so it is a lower frequency, so larger time period, and near T2 the frequency is higher, so time period is smaller, and it is done in a linear fashion. So change in frequency is done in a linear fashion. On reception, the frequency modulated signal is passed through a pulse compression filter, which is a delay line whose velocity of propagation is proportional to frequency. So it speeds up the higher frequencies at the trailing edge of the pulse relative to the lower frequencies at the leading edge, so as to compress the signal to a width 2 by B, where B is the bandwidth, or F2 minus F1. So we will get this one, because the pulse compression filter is basically a matched filter, so its output envelope is a autocorrelation function of the input. So obviously autocorrelation function of the square pulse will be a sinc pulse, so shape of the compressed pulse will be that of a sinc pulse, sin pi bt divided by pi bt. So this is a sinc pulse. So its width is 2 by B and height is, amplitude is root over B into T. So instantaneous peak power of the original pulse is increased by a factor Bt, and B is proportional to 1 by tau, so it is increased by a factor T by tau after passes through the compression filter. So ambiguity diagram for a linear FM pulse compression waveform, it shows that a large Doppler shift in the echo signal can result in the indicated range not being the true range. So in this case, this one is 1 by B, this one is 1 by tau, and this distance is, total distance is B in this axis, and in this axis a major portion of ambiguity function is tau, and the slope is such that it is a linear function, so fd equal to some constant into tr. So this elliptical ambiguity function will be tilted. So this is called the range Doppler coupling. If the range error is large, the effect of the Doppler can be removed by averaging the two range indication obtained with both the rising FM upchirp and falling FM or downchirp, similar to the manner in which the range error due to Doppler is estimated in an FMCW radar with triangular modulation. Now for the sinc pulse, we have some side lobes. This is the usual thing of the sinc pulse. Now we have to reduce these side lobes. So reduction of time or range side lobes. The side lobes of the match filter are not sufficiently small compared to the main response. The time side lobes can be reduced by transmitting a pulse with non-uniform amplitude, that is, by amplitude weighting the long pulse over its duration t. As a compromise, the time side lobes of a linear FM pulse compression signal usually are reduced by applying amplitude weighting on receive and not on transmit. That means in the receiver we have a dispersive delay line pulse compression filter. Here we will apply some amplitude weighting, but not on the transmitter side. Since the pulse compression filter is the matched filter, applying the weighting only on receive results in a mismatch filter and a loss in SNR. So this is the price paid to reduce the time side lobes. That means the instead of having maximum SNR, the SNR will be little bit lesser. It is possible to have no theoretical loss in SNR and still achieve low time side lobes with uniform amplitude transmitted waveform if a nonlinear frequency modulated waveform is used. Now linear FM pulse compression filter. So two important type of linear FM pulse compression filters are used. One is the surface acoustic wave dispersive delay line or SAW dispersive delay line. Another is the digital processing. When the compressed pulse is very small, of the order of nanosecond, but the original uncompressed pulse is of conventional width is of the order of microsecond. Under this condition, the surface acoustic wave dispersive delay lines are used. The other area is when one starts with a longer pulse, comparatively longer pulse, say of the order of 100 microsecond, and it should be compressed to a conventional width of say few microseconds only. Under this condition, we have to use the digital processing. So of the order of nanosecond to microsecond, we must use surface acoustic wave dispersive delay line, and when hundreds of microsecond to microsecond order compression, we have to use digital processing. So let us stop right here and we will discuss this SAW and digital processing later on. Thank you.